Hello everybody, I'm Ard, and welcome to another episode of Minecraft Enigmatica 2 Expert. Episode 50. Let's go! Well, originally I'd intended to do something special for episode 50, but I mean, life just did not line up properly for doing that, unfortunately, so I guess we're gonna do another progression video. Sorry, not sorry. So I think as such it's time to round out most of the rest of the Actually Additions chapter, and I think we're going to start by making the batteries, because the batteries are pretty simple and we can do them all in one go. Because the batteries are just, well, redstone, coil, and ori crystals, which to level them up are just batteries instead of the redstone and some more but empowered, and some more, and finally some more with empowered demount time. Nothing all that complicated. So as part of this, there's something I've mentioned several times in the past, but I actually don't think I've shown this part of my process. I have this whole bank of work tables here, and in them I have setups like this, which is specifically set up to make things for Actually Additions, like all of the basic coils, and a few other things for random pieces that are related to it or that use these components. And this is what's going to let me make things like the batteries really easily, because I can just replicate these, but why do that when I can just very easily churn these out of the work table here. And I have this set up for a whole bunch of other things, like an immersive engineering with all of the engineering blocks, one to make chests and drawers real fast, one to make basic nuclear craft parts, and another one to make industrial craft parts. You get the idea, but this lets me put things together really quickly when I need subcomponents, or just have subcomponents just lying around ready to be made. Alright, and that was quick, all 5 done. So what you can do with these is you can have them in your inventory. When it looks like this, it doesn't do anything. If you shift right click it, it will start glowing. When it's glowing, it will charge any item in your inventory that takes power. So it lets you store, it will help you with things that consume energy as you move about. Things like dark armor and whatnot that chew up power as they're used or as they absorb damage. So next up, let's go build the powered furnace and get that out of the way, and then never use it again, much like everything else in these progression ones. And looking into it, it's all stuff we pretty much all easily have. We just haven't ever had a need to make it. Easy peasy and done. Slapping this on the ground, we can see that its main shtick is that it can take 2 inputs at once. Sadly though, this isn't even a unique feature for other furnaces within this same mod pack. It's still potentially useful, but And that's out of the way. The next up are the Phantomfaces, which we've already gotten the Phantom Face from a loot chest previously. What we need next are the Phantom Connectors, which let you actually use them. And the Phantom Connectors are basically made of ender pearls and blaze powder, which we have tons of. The Phantom Faces themselves, however, are a bit harder to make, but not much. And this is just a block of ender pearls, which isn't a normal thing though. Alright, so Phantom Faces are probably one of the most useful things that exist in Actually Additions. And it's something that becomes fairly important later in this pack for being able to process things fast enough. Because what the Phantom Face lets you do is it lets you act as a separate set of input faces for another device or inventory source. So like, say I wanted to hide the cabling for my macerator or something. I could connect this Phantom Face with a connector to the macerator. You shift right click the macerator with the Phantom Face connector, and then you shift right click the Phantom Face itself and it tells you what it's connected to. Although it says it's industrial TNT, which that doesn't seem right. But if we now go into this chest and toss in this iron ore, you see that it automatically just tosses it in, and now it's in the macerator. So while the uses of this for just wireless transport are fairly good, what this lets you do is it also dramatically increases the number of faces that are available on a single device, because the Phantom Face acts as another 6 faces that you can connect pipes to get even more stuff in faster. For things that you have to do extremely fast, much later in the pack, to process stuff at just absurd of rates. But it's very good for if you need to hide cables or whatnot too, if you just need to clean up the way stuff is laid out. But it's a costly investment if you're still in the early game. Alright, up next is the fishing net, which does exactly what it says. It gets fish. Except we already have our fishing automated, so I'm gonna make it, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna like it. Alright, that was at least easy. But so the way this works is you just put it above water, we'll just drop it on the sand and dig it out, and then it will catch fish slowly over time. it will pop out of the fishing net, or you can put a chest on top of it. That just looks weird though. But I don't know how fast this thing actually is. I've never used them, and the one I've got set up is just better anyways. So we're going to pretend I didn't make that. Alright, the next exciting one are the worms, which unfortunately in this pack are not that useful because they die after 10,000 ticks. But what they do is they act as fertilizer to the areas around them in a 3x3 square, which means they're decent for farms, but they're a lot better in packs where they don't die. And to get them, you just till the soil and turn it into farmland. And rarely you will find worms. Alright, I can't tell if I just got really unlucky or what, but it may not work on silty dirt. It might only work on normal grass blocks, because it popped out on the first one here, but I wasn't getting any when I was over by my base. Yeah, I'm seeing them pop up all the time now, so it looks like it has to be only dirt. So that's great, seeing as how I'm not going to use them anyways because they die. There are other sources of fertilizer that are frankly easier in this pack anyways, but they are useful in other packs, so don't discount them entirely. Next up are balls of fur, which you get from tame cats apparently. So I guess we're going to have to go find and tame a cat. Way to go me for getting basic old Minecraft mechanics. I actually went to a village to go try to find a cat. This is 1.12 folks. You need to tame an ocelot in this version. And thankfully, you can buy an ocelot egg off a village trader like this. And then you just need to feed him some raw salmon. So, well, now I just have to wait for the ball of fur. That's just going to take a little bit. I may have spawned a few extra ocelots, but now we have our ball of fur. And the ball of fur works by just right-clicking it. And it gives you stuff. In this case, ooh, an empty casing to make ammo from. I have no idea what all can pop out of these. They claim it's useful. I have my doubts. But I might want to put these in a pen with a collector just to go pick them up for later. Oh, and I got another one. Oh, a feather. So, random junk, but we'll see. Okay, I couldn't help myself, so I made a quick and dirty cat farm to gather up all the balls of fur. I can't find a way to automate opening them. If anybody has any ideas, let me know. But it looks like the automated user doesn't work. Alright, so out of curiosity, I opened up a whole bunch of balls of fur. I've got them in that crate up there in the top. And if we look in here, it's a giant pile of just random garbage for the most part. But there are some standouts. Like we have steel and iron mechanical components from Mercer Engineering in not small amounts, and dragon bones, and other fire and ice components, and various random Twilight Force components. But the biggest one is the Ender Energy Conduit. This is the max one I believe in this pack, and it transmits a phenomenal amount of power. And I think we've gotten about 1 per stack of fur, which for the price of free isn't bad, especially since you can get these the very instant you can get cats. So just like villagers, it might be worth rounding up cats super early. So the last step for today is the automatic feeder, which feeds animals just like the other feeder we previously made and aren't using. And it's pretty simple to make. And the automatic feeder is done as well. Putting this on the ground and looking at it, it just has a timer that goes up and feeds whatever food is in here to whatever animals are in range to breed them. Not that exciting, honestly, but doesn't appear to require power, which is useful from that perspective. That said, I think we're going to call it here for now for actually additions. All that we have remaining at this point is the canola press for fuel and power, which I think we're going to do in another episode because this is actually a relatively complex process to get all the way up to automating Ultimate Canola. So we'll handle that another day. But this was good progress and mostly finished out the chapter. So, as always, I'm Ard. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.